Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope everyone's Labor Day weekend was great. Tonight, I'm going to do something just a little bit different. It's going to be called Dogman 101. It's a mix-up of Dogman lore, Dogman history, and Dogman encounters. Before we get into this, I'd like to share a couple of links with you. As you know, I'm commercial free, so I rely on my Patreon, PayPal, and merchandise to help keep this channel growing and going. Also, I have a second channel just for creepypasta, fan fiction, and scary voice acting. If that's anything that you guys are into, follow that link and give a couple of those stories a listen. I'm also going to be working on a series called Clowntown USA. I did it on this channel a very long time ago, and I'm going to be redoing it on that channel. And with that, guys, let's get on to Dogman 101. Just who or what is the Dogman? Well, the Dogman has often been described as a bipedal canine or a dog-like creature, and sometimes goes by names such as Wolfman, Man-Wolf, and Werewolf. These names tend to perpetuate the notion that the creature has a body which is half man and half wolf, or perhaps even half dog. Werewolf brings forth the idea of an animal that can shift back and forth, taking the shape of either a man or a dog. Under certain conditions, such as a full moon, that ability to change from a man to a wolf and later back to a man is a quality that would place a werewolf in the category known as shapeshifters. Most Dogman experts do not consider the Dogman to be a shapeshifter, nor do they claim that it is an actual half man. Instead, it is dog-like or wolf-like creature that generally stands, walks, and runs on 2 legs rather than 4. It does have the same characteristics as a dog or wolf or similar canine species. Its legs resemble and have the same bone joints as a dog's hind legs, while the upper 2 appendages have the same bone joint as the front legs of a dog. It walks on the pads of the toes of its hind feet, just like a dog, and its front paws and forepaws are used for carrying and tearing prey apart. Like many dogs, it has sharp, pointed ears and thick fur in addition to a tail. It also has an elongated snout with jaws, just like a dog, which are complete with the canine teeth and fangs. Cryptozoologists classify the Dogman into the same group as Bigfoot and similar cryptids, which have fur along with other animal characteristics and walk upright in a manner similar to that of a human. In the United States and even other countries, reports have surfaced of such creatures which have the ability to walk at least part of the time on 2 hind legs, just like a man, and yet have the body, hair, and head of a wolf. Generally, when cryptids are spotted multiple times, you can go back into history and do a little research in order to find evidence that there has been other sightings of the same type of creature, and that it has been around for quite some time. Documented sightings of a bipedal wolf-like creature have been found in old diaries and letters. An old letter dated 1857 tells of an encounter in the United States which a large wolf was seen standing upright and walking like a man. In the early 16th century in North America, French explorers claimed to have seen a wolf-like upright walking creature that they referred to as the loup-garou, a name which is translated from French to English means werewolf. A 1794 diary that belonged to a French fur trader in North America has described an early encounter with a loup-garou. These and other encounters could have actually been of the Dogman. The Oneida Indians were a Native American Indian tribe that settled in North America around the Great Lakes, in the territory which is now occupied by the Canadian province of Ontario, the state of Michigan, and the state of Wisconsin. During the 16 and 1700s, these Native Americans told stories of a legendary creature called the Wendigo, which had animal characteristics and walked upright. The Wendigo was believed to have the ability to change from human form to animal form, and that is, this supernatural ability to transform was associated with cannibalism. Some experts believe that what the Native American Indian tribes were describing was actually a Dogman. Other experts disagree on this, but we have to start somewhere. Some Native American Indian tribes, including the Ottawa, believe in other creatures known as the Skinwalker. It was thought that certain tribe members could wear the skin of an animal and they could change into that animal. Perhaps the legend of the Dogman is partly derived from these Native American Indians who wore wolf hides, complete with the head and tail, while they danced around the fire and performed their ceremonies. Origins of such man-wolf type creatures may have gone back from medieval period of 500 AD to 1500 AD of history in European countries. Stories of wolf-like creatures and werewolves may have carried over from that period, and as they were handed down, may have eventually surfaced in early fairy tales and fables. In many of these early stories, there existed a big bad wolf who was always causing a lot of grief for the other main characters in these fables. The big bad wolf character appears in such European-based tales such as Little Red Riding Hood, The Three Little Pigs, and The Wolf and the Seven Young Kids. It also appears in the Russian-based tale of Peter and the Wolf. Now that we've gotten some lore and history of the Dogman, let's get into an encounter. A Dogman encounter that supposedly happened in Wayne County, West Virginia about 25 years ago. 3 men had constructed a cabin in a remote, forbidden wilderness area along East Lynn Lake. In the fall, they decided to camp out at the cabin and go hunting. The first 2 nights were uneventful. On both these nights, they became aware of a large animal growling around outside the cabin. They could hear heavy breathing and low growling, which they thought might have been a bear. On the 3rd night, the animal stepped onto the porch and approached the front door. The men loaded their guns and prepared to do battle with what they now determined to be some 2-legged animal. Finally, the sound subsided and everyone went to sleep. But it was not over, because the creature appeared on the porch again and paused in the window. One of the men opened fire on the window and shot the creature. When daylight came, they managed to track the creature to an old schoolhouse near the East Lynn Lake. Inside the schoolhouse, they found large holes like a dog would dig to sleep in. There were piles of animal bones nearby, which were probably left there by the inhabitant. The men never found the creature, and they did not return to their cabin for 3 years. One of the men did finally return to the cabin for a week-long hunting trip years later. When talking to a nearby neighbor, he learned that something had recently attacked and killed several of his horses. On the man's final day at the hunting cabin, he was driving back out of one of the back roads when he saw something near his neighbor's horses. From his vehicle, he saw the strange creature jump clear across the road. The animal, meeting the description of the Dogman, was about 6 feet tall, had gray fur and sharp claws. but most notable thing about it was that it stood upright and ran on two hind legs. Here's a final, short little encounter to end this Dogman 101 with. One woman was inside her mobile home one evening just before dark and saw the creature outside in her yard. Just as she made eye contact with the creature, it spotted her and began to approach the window from which she was observing. She quickly ran through her house and made sure all the windows and doors were locked and that all the lights were turned off. Her efforts to ward off the creature were not enough. Throughout the night, the creature lurked outside her mobile home, occasionally banging and scratching on the walls. She was fortunately able to survive throughout the night, but the evil thing completely scared her to death. The next day, deep scratches were found high up on the aluminum exterior of the mobile home, and unusual large dog prints were found outside. Well, there you have it, folks. Dogman 101. School started for the kids, and school was in session tonight for us Dogman fanatics. I hope you guys enjoyed this little thing I put together for you. And tomorrow night I'll have some more Dogman terrifying encounters to share. With that, guys, have a good night, and I'll see you again tomorrow.